JACKASS.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
People are full of surprises, especially when you travel together. Thankfully, Vrbo is not. When you book a Vrbo, you get Vrbo Care and 24/7 live support. So your house doesn't surprise you like your friends might. If something's not as described or doesn't work, Vrbo's there. Real people, real support, anytime. Book today on the Vrbo app. If you know, you Vrbo. Terms apply. See vrbo.com/trust for details.
What up? It's interview style. We talk about movies or whatever. Iris, we've never discussed a Jackass movie. Now, I get that it's not narrative, but how come, bro? You love those films.
Yeah, I love those films.
They make you laugh. I don't trust anyone. If a Jackass movie doesn't make you laugh, I don't trust you. So there is another Jackass movie. The other one was Forever. Batman Forever was the last of the Joel Schumacher Batman. But there's another Jackass coming out this summer, which I'm going to insist that we discuss. So for interview style, in honor of our forthcoming first Jackass movie discussion, we're going to talk about real injuries that happened on screen. And bear in mind, the whole crux of Jackass, why it's funny instead of horrifying, it's still horrifying to some people, is because while they're hurting themselves and never other people, they're always laughing about it.
The ultimate in taking a joke. So we're talking about injuries in Jackass movies or just like pan cinema?
Pan cinema.
But not just injuries. Like, yes, the Jackass people are so charming when they laugh about getting brutally hurt. But isn't it all come down to like all of the America's Funniest Home Videos and now YouTube videos of just why is it so funny when people eat it? Like, there's a whole segment in the new HBO documentary series Born to Bowl of people slipping on bowling lane oil.
That sounds amazing.
And it's so funny, but why? Some of those people get really hurt.
Yeah, it's true. And these are not the funny injuries because that is strictly Jackass's domain. But some of them are funny in a way. Strangely, my first 5 injuries that I'll detail for you are hand related. Oh. Hand injuries aren't funny, but they're safe enough so that we can kind of laugh at them, yeah?
Okay, I mean, sure.
You remember Childs in The Thing, played by Craig David, who runs down the hallway when Blair is having a meltdown and shooting his little gangster gun or whatever? Okay. And he broke his hand for some reason on set. And so they put they tried to match his skin tone and put a glove over the cast. So he has a big brown bubbly hand that he tries to hide behind Kurt Russell. That once you see it, you can never unsee it. That's pretty funny. Brad Pitt, in the most hilarious way ever, sliced his hand to the bone, as we discussed in 7, jumping across a car, slipping, and putting his hand through the windshield. So the cast he wears for the rest of the movie is real, and they worked that injury into the script.
Wow.
What did Leo do to his hand in Django Unchained?
Does it have to do with white cake?
Kind of. He actually, right before he says that, he slams his hand on the table and breaks a crystal glass in the process.
Yes.
In real life, he broke that glass with his hand, sliced his hand open. Now, in the movie, spoiler, he rubs the blood all over somebody's face, which I cannot imagine was real blood. And I don't know how they did it if his hand was then cut open. So that's interesting. Maybe it was like digital blood. Let's see. Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now famously had a real heart attack on set and was all messed up. He was drunk and hit a mirror, which is on screen, and he broke or cut his hand in the process. That's pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, he was doing martial arts or Tai Chi in front of the mirror, tripping out.
Right. Your boy Jake Gyllenhaal broke a mirror and hurt his hand being crazy in Nightcrawler, as you do when you're in Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if that was a real insomnia-induced tic.
What's the Tom Cruise on-screen injury?
Well, not a hand injury if you're talking about Mission Impossible. Was it the final Mission Impossible?
I think it was Fallout. Anyway, the footage exists. They did not use that jump take, but they did use the take where he makes it to the top of the building with his elbows and breaks his ankle when his foot hits the wall. But then he climbs up and limps away on the broken ankle.
Oh.
You can't hear it crunching, but on screen he's walking on a broken ankle.
Oh.
That's pretty gnarly. And
oh, man.
What about Viggo Mortensen's toe? You know that story.
Nope.
In The Two Towers, they look and they think the hobbits are dead. Spoiler. He kicks the orc helmet, and he's wearing like leather boots that aren't reinforced in the toe.
Oh.
Broke two toes, and this is like a thing on the internet. It's like dudes can't shut up and they can't stop themselves from saying, you know, he broke two toes in that take, because he like uses the pain and gives a cry that reads as frustration and collapses to his knees in anguish when really he's in pain because he broke two toes.
Use it, Viggo. Use it.
Yeah, Stallone cracked a rib in the tree fall in First Blood. I don't even have to list the injuries. If you want to see how Jackie Chan gets hurt,
Oof.
Watch the outtakes over the credits in any Jackie Chan movie.
Linked in our Instagram post for this interview style, yes?
Yeah, the all-time reigning king of onset injuries.
Oh, I was like carrying a basket. And you know how just women tend to put everything on their hips, like just rest it on their hips. Anyway, I was carrying this basket on my hip, and I didn't judge kind of my clearance, and I rammed the basket into a counter and therefore into my ribs. Do you know how bad that hurt?
Yes, I do. And you have like protruding hips.
I do.
I have a layer of insulation to protect me from said things. You don't.
I don't know whether it bounced off of me or not. It would have hurt. But man, I like doubled over. I was like, dude, I always thought I'd do my own stunts.
I also wanted to be a stunt person when I was a little kid. Yeah, so much for that. I'm too old for like normal human stuff now. Carrie Elwes in The Princess Bride, which we never cover. He's rendered unconscious by a bonk on the head from a sword, the hilt of a sword, and he really fell unconscious because he really got bonked super hard because the other takes didn't look realistic.
Wow.
Mike Fox, Back to the Future 3, famously strung up in front of the Hill Valley Courthouse, happened for real, and he was unconscious for a little bit when he hung himself, or he allowed himself to be hung on set.
Stop. They didn't have a hook and harness up his shirt?
I don't know, man. Stories suggest that Jim Caviezel went super method and was badly honked up for playing Jesus. Method Jesus, man. We talked about in The Exorcist, we talked about Ellen Burstyn having that harness when she gets yanked to the floor, when Reagan repels her with the force of Satan, and she hurt her back, like chronic back pain for life. She was permanently injured her spine on The Exorcist. What we do for our art.
Tell me she got disability for that. That sucks.
I don't know. Movie sets probably back in the day didn't have HR. Like any other corporation does now. The Last Samurai, an extra. They're riding. Tom Cruise is aboard a horse, and they're riding in, and he's being followed by the samurai, and you can clearly see in a take in the movie, the horse sidekick an extra in the nuts.
No.
Oh, it's in the movie.
No.
It's so good. And the final one, you can find this on YouTube, the heroic moment when Sam is not having Mr. Frodo heading to Mordor on his own and charges into the river to get on Frodo's boat after Frodo tries to leave him napping on the riverbank. Sean Astin went into the water, stepped on some glass or something. His big hobbit feet were just a thin layer of rubber, and that whole hobbit foot filled up with blood, and they had to peel it off. And he had to take a little downtime. Thankfully, unlike Childs' skin tone rubber glove, you could probably fit a whole bandaged foot in one of those Hobbit feet prosthetics. Oh, man. Jackass is coming. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about it.
Of course, you know I do love Jackass because despite being in my mid-40s, I have the sense of humor of an 18-year-old boy. I just wanted to say that we, of course, talked about injuries that we're allowed to laugh about because people weren't necessarily seriously hurt. And of course, there have been some very high profile, serious injuries and even death that happen in film, which is, not funny. And it makes me think of producer Christine Vachon, who said in a panel I attended, there's no emergency on set unless somebody gets hurt. Everything else is just a challenge to be overcome. And I think those are super wise words from a producer whose human responsibility is number one, to run, operate, and ensure a safe set. So anyway, just wanted to put that in there.
I'm trying to keep it light. Ira's intent on bringing it down, bringing it to the real. Yes, lots of stuff. Let's talk about Daniel Radcliffe's permanently paralyzed Harry Potter stunt double.
No,
next time
stop it.
On Interview Style.
You stop.
Okay, love you, bye.
Hello, I'm Polly Campbell, the host of Polly Campbell Simply Said, the weekly podcast where we talk about how to live well, do good, and be happy. And let me tell you what, we tap into the great minds of authors, business leaders, entrepreneurs, and so much more so that we can learn how to do the work that matters and create the lives we want to live. Join us right here on Polly Campbell Simply Said on the best business network of Electricast.
Electricast. Hi, I'm Lessa Gadet, host of her Extraordinary Life by Design podcast, where we celebrate women who are shaping their lives one extraordinary day at a time. I speak with women from all over the world about what they do and how they are passionately pursuing their dreams and creating meaningful impacts on their communities. So come join us and learn about all there is to learn about these extraordinary women. Electricast.